Okay, so good day, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the 101 Questions of AI, where we tackle the pressing questions around artificial intelligence. I am your host, Michelle, and here with us is Luca, our in-house expert. Okay, let's get right into those burning questions in AI. So today we're going to talk about how we actually test AI machines. So Luca, please expand.
Well, there are many different tests, many different ways. I think there are three that comes to my mind. Well, the first and foremost, the Turing test, and I'm mentioning first because as we explored in previous episodes, Turing was, the father of AI, and this test is actually a very simple test if you think about it, but it's very complicated. It hasn't been cracked yet. Okay, it's very complicated, really, to fulfill. So maybe you have seen the Imitation Game, by the way, the film.
Yes, I have indeed. Yes, the one with Benedict Cumberbatch. No.
Yeah, with Benedict Cumberbatch. So this is what we're talking about. We're talking about Alan Turing, and we're talking about a test where essentially Alan Turing imagined a human listening in a room, okay, and a second room with either an AI system or another human. So the test is cracked and won passed, if the human listening can't tell if in the second room there is an AI algorithm or a human. So you can imagine that this is very, very hard because the human listening in the room can ask questions and can essentially iteratively interact with the second room and ask trickier and trickier questions to essentially understand whether or not there is a person. The second one that I like very much because I'm an Apple fan is the coffee test, and I like it very much because it was conceived by Wozniak, one of the Apple co-founders, and in this test, essentially, an AI robot, in this case, is required to make good coffee. So this process of coffee brewing, you think about it, it's not that simple. You have to find the coffee machine in the house. You have to add the coffee. You have to check if the water is there, and find the mug and correctly brew the coffee. So that's not an easy task, and we are very far away from a situation where an AI can learn to do that autonomously. Okay. Then there is the third and final test that I would mention here. It's called the Robo College Student Test. So here, the idea is that an AI can pass all the exams that are required to get a degree. Okay, you might be impressed by knowing that there was already an attempt to do that in 2017. The University of Notre Dame. So there was an algorithm that completed actually a college class. So these are the three main tests that come to mind, but there are more practical tests. If we're thinking a little bit less ambitiously about AI and we focus on algorithms, there are a lot of techniques and a lot of measure of performance to evaluate, let's call it, a narrow artificial intelligence algorithm on specific tasks.
All right. Wow. It seems like if I were AI, I might easily fail all of these tests. I make terrible copy. But these are good to know. And if there is one takeaway, what would it be?
I think that we need to be realistic and honest. All these three tests are far from being a realistic measure of performance of current AI, because the current AI is still a narrow AI. So I believe that the best thing that we can do is to pick the specific task where we want to evaluate the algorithm, create a baseline with a human annotator. If we think about, I think about simple tasks as detecting identities in a text or classifying objects in an image. So we take this human performance and then see how the algorithm performs in terms of false negatives, in terms of false positives, in terms of those measurable numbers, measurable assessments that at the end of the day are meaningful to take decisions when it comes to AI, in terms of investment, in terms of improvement, and so on and so forward.
Okay, so basically we need to limit our testing to the degree that AI is currently at this stage, right? Not to be too overly ambitious so that we can measure the progress. Yeah?
Correct.
All
Absolutely. You're
right.
spot on.
Thank you. I try. You're very good at explaining things.
Thank you.
Okay, so that is it for this episode. Thank you to everyone that tuned in. Remember to like, subscribe, and we will see you next time. Thank you.